Hey, I'm happy to announce I recently just got my sound system actually back together. If you watch episode 2, I was having issues with the sound, and I've been working really hard to get that fixed. So I thought I would do a quick video on something I saw on MSNBC, where they're going delirious with Chris Hayes about Trump, and I did see a part of it, and it was so obnoxious I thought I'd record it and give a reaction. So without any further ado, let's do a press check. All right.
If we're going to have a conversation about the mental acuity of a recent president, it does seem a little weird to be focusing exclusively on the last one, and also
That's because this one doesn't have
the
Alzheimer's,
one who
dingbat.
blasted out this typically truly insane
We
all-caps
also
social
don't
media
know
screed
any
yesterday.
any secretive
Happy
medical
Memorial Day to
concerns
all.
going on.
Okay, weird way to start. Including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped radical left minds, who allowed 20 million people to illegally enter our country, many of them being criminals and the mentally insane, through an open border policy that only an incompetent president would approve, and on and on and on, like an old man ranting at the sky.
Isn't that what you're doing, my friend? Aren't you ranting at the sky, especially being that you have no viewership?
Alexi McCammon is the host of the podcast In Sync with Alexi. Faz Shakir is the senior advisor, Senator Bernie Sanders, executive director of the progressive nonprofit news organization More Perfect Union. They both join me now. You know, one of the things, Alexi, that I think is a sort of struggle, and it is a newsroom saying that we don't cover the planes that land. That when things are normal, they're not news. When they're abnormal, they become news. And again, Trump's sort of stream of consciousness, these addresses over the weekend, which would have been like obviously massive, enormous news cycles if they had been delivered by another politician, including Joe Biden, are so absorbed and priced in now that to see what's in front of your face, it is itself difficult.
Yeah, it was
Difficult to look at your
when he
face.
wished Joe Biden well after he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
That's a
Everyone
normal
was
thing
like,
to
oh my
do.
God, this is amazing.
That's exactly right.
And to your point, it's like we're normalizing these crazy screeds, which is, of course, just lowering the bar for Republican leadership, not Democratic leadership, lowering the bar for
That's because you frickin' clowns and shitheads hit the floor. You indicted a former president, and not just on one or two different things, on and on, Stormy Daniels, all this shit. So don't even start. Such frickin' hypocrites.
Republican leadership for the forever future, as far as I can tell. And it's a disgrace when Democrats included say, well, we should thank President Trump for being nice and normal and choosing Biden over cancer. I mean, he's calling him scum a few days later.
You can be a scumbag with cancer, and people could not want you to die. That is possible, folks. You know, um, I think there are plenty of people in politics in Hollywood and in the public arena who are absolute scum of the earth. It doesn't mean I want them to die horribly. So, again, bunch of dumbass hypocrites. And the other thing is, these people literally laughed when Donald Trump was shot. And Joe Biden, if you go back to the campaign, was shitting all over Trump within 1 or 2 days. And the man was literally shot at by an assassin. So again, these people are complete losers.
So it's a problem.
You know, part of it, too,
It's a
has to do
problem.
with this question about, one of the sort of questions in the political discourse after this book on the
Your
on the sort of
political
last few years
discourse.
of the Biden administration, is the degree of, like, how on top of what was happening in his White House was Joe Biden.
Not at all.
Which, again, I think there's some interesting questions there. But in the current world we live in, like, Trump does come out every day and, like, ask what he's signing when they give him his executive orders. And on the single biggest piece of domestic...
Because he's literally just asking, what am I signing? Because they're handing him a bunch of different executive orders and he wants to speak to it as he signs it. Again, this guy is a freaking clown.
legislation, which is this big, beautiful bill, like, he doesn't seem to be that in control of it at all. In fact, it seems like it was written by, like, the same people that have been running the party for 20 years, Faz.
Well, mental inacuity, or whatever the word is, comes in many forms.
You obviously have mental inacuity because you're sitting there trying to use a big word on national television and you're not even sure what you're saying. So that's kind of embarrassing.
The one that we're concerned about with Donald Trump oftentimes is that you don't know what to expect of a decision making. There's no steady hand on the wheel. It's constantly in reversal. So, you were in earlier in the show talking about the EU tariffs and the
This guy's not even making sense. There's no steady on the hand on the wheel. It's constantly in reversal. The hell does that even mean?
tariffs in general has been a kaleidoscope of on, then off, then on, then
When you're in
off.
reverse, you're
You take
shifting
this
gears,
weekend,
not
there was a
steering.
post on True Social about Putin, and he's very upset at Putin's killing civilians. It wasn't just weeks ago
That's a good
when
thing.
he brought Zelensky in and dressed him down for saying exactly the same thing. We talk about the big, beautiful bill that
Here's the thing. Trump doesn't have to like either one of them and still think that Zelensky and the cause that Zelensky is representing is still on a more moral right, being that they were invaded by Russia.
you mentioned. He said, don't F with Medicaid. They cut Medicaid. He says, what about raising taxes on the rich? Then he's not for that anymore. Every single day, Doge cuts. I mean, he's moved all kinds of places on that. Every single day you get a reversal of some kind that you're just like, you can't have any degree of confidence that there's a steady hand on the wheel.
Yeah, and that
I'm confident that he is beating you. I am confident that I would take him over you, and I'm confident that you hate him.
And that's where the sort of rubber hits the road, Faz, on that, Alexi, on that tariff point. I mean, like, Trump, the Trump speech before West Point, which was genuinely bizarre, and I mean, you can see how quiet it was. It reminded me when he went to talk to the Boy Scouts like 8 years ago, and he was talking about like how hot the women were on some boat of some friend that he knew in front of the.
Right. So anyways, folks, this just shows how much they are literally willing to pour on him in every hateful possible way, no matter what. I mean, that's all this is. It's a big smear campaign, and it's not anything surprising. So I just thought I'd watch this for a second and point out just the absolute vitriol for this guy. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, it has nothing to do with me wanting to support him or not. If you watch when I saw Joe Biden put on the helmet for MAGA, I actually laughed. At first, I thought it was a joke, like it couldn't be real. And then Biden did it, and I jabbed at Biden a little because he is a senile idiot. But I laughed because it's funny, and maybe Biden had a sense of humor in that moment, and I'm not gonna crap on him. It's over that. That's just stupid. Um, these people got to lighten up, and the way these people hate Trump, and they're just such agents for the left. It's no surprise that people wonder if they're agents for the CIA. I'm not saying they are. I wouldn't recruit that frickin' loser to save my life. But there are some more heavy hitters out there, and it just makes you wonder, like Rachel Maddow. That woman has been campaigning now against Trump for, since 2016. Never once had a single decent thing to say about him. Donald Trump could give everyone $1 million and they would have a problem with it, and they would spin it like, oh my God, he's going to raise taxes to give everyone $1 million. There's just no winning with it. And I just ask people, don't like Donald Trump. I could care less on that end. But please stop believing these freaking clowns too, because they're a bunch of lying sacks of shit. So thanks for checking out my show on Press Check. I look forward to Saturday where I'll be doing an hour show and hopefully have much better audio. So I'll see you around next time. Thanks. Hey everyone, thank you for checking out Press Check. Please like, share, and subscribe.